Hello, everyone. My name is Sunny Puri. I am head of sales for UK and Europe and at Welspun. At Welspun, I'm based out from Manchester, and that's where our regional headquarters for Europe are. Within the business, the way it is, the changing dynamics with the market, Europe's been always a key integral part of the business for us at Welspun. And it's a pleasure to take you through Hemtex 2026 collection at Welspun. We're in Hall 5.1, which is where most of the brands from Europe are being located. The Hemtex overall has been very interesting as a show for us, wherein we had quite a busier footfall meetings, and the last 3 days were quite static to know the customers and also to present the collection. So we will start somewhere with the one at Welspun. I think more than the business, we value again how the market is, trying to understand the end consumer, and that is where Welspun's being known as, and quite integral part of what we do at our end. Uh, this time we played more around what we say an edit. Edit is where the collection has been edited at our end, tuned to the customer preferences, to the choice in the collection they have within the home. And being a leader in the segment, we were quite happy to present first apartment to start off with. This is the first apartment is always around the young nestlers, those consumers who are tight on budget, but then they are very fashion led. They love their product and love to have plus one within the product. So that is where the beautiful collection you can see here comes from. Herein we layered the bed. It's kind of double layering, wherein we went with florals, kind of bit of white onto it, so could really connect with the customer. Very vibrant colors being used. Some of the techniques which we went with, quite flowed up with a nice logo bath mat, and then had beautiful low twist towels, and with the changing dynamics around sustainability, energy saving, this is a perfect mix of technology and fashion together. This is coupled up with yarn dyes and jacquards, so you can see kind of a nice little touch on the towel with a nice end hem. Moving on, the next collection we came up with is more around the family, who are more the consumers who are acquainted with the sustainability of side. This is where ecology plays an important part. In ecology, the whole collection is talks about sustainability as a part of the core collection, the raw material, factories where it has been produced, the employees who are being associated with it. So the whole ecosystem is sustainable in a way that even the product speaks about it. So you could see nice pastel colors and more of greens, which are in trend, going along with recycle story, organics. We spoke about, and that's been where we see consumers being talking about, trying to know how the product they are buying from the shelf.
Welspun is our luxury brand. It's designed by the US market here. It's aimed at the sort of higher end of the market. So we've got lovely, nice thread counts here, which mixed with tencel. So we've got 200 thread counts, lovely soft hand feel. The inspirational trends that we've looked at here are all sort of inky florals and inky sort of abstracted prints, as you can see on here. Texture is important. So we've got the textural sort of jacquard here, cotton wash jacquard, which is lovely, and then the scalloping. So we're seeing a lot in the trends of scalloped edges and shaped edges coming through, and that mix of texture with lovely soft hand feel, which is really important. And then in terms of towels for bath, we've got a mix, and what we thought was really important here is in terms of display, how you get a sort of solid towel mixed with a texture, and then mixed with a jacquard. So in terms of display, you've got visually appealing, eye-catching products to draw the customer in. Then we have our Grand Hotel story. and Grand Hotel again aimed at the luxury end of the market, all sort of about creating that perfect sort of night's sleep, creating a sort of hotel experience within your own home. Again, when you feel the product, we've got high thread counts here, so we go from 350 TC up to 500 TC. We've got a mix of Egyptian cotton, and then 100% tencel on the bed covers, so you've got that beautiful sheen that's coming through. What we felt was new here is rather than just going for all crisp hotel white, we're sort of layering in these mocha tones. We've got the silver edge to it as well, and we've added layered over a floral aspect to this just to give it a nice feminine edge to that. And you can see on the jacquard we've got the floral with the sheen, which is really nice, very subtle. We're seeing a lot of this coming through in trends and in the market in terms of just a real subtle kind of offer. And then obviously the sort of more core Beretta stitch that we're used to on there. In terms of towels for hotel, again, display a bit like we've done with Prisma, that importance of having your solid mixed with your texture, your all over jacquard. We've gone again for a sort of mix of a floral sort of aspect and then a sort of abstracted motif kind of floral imagery, sort of looking at reverses on things like this. So we've got the silver coming in here. What's really lovely in here is we've got this new really soft velvet touch, which so customers really going for that nice soft handle, a lightweight kind of feel. And then
Comes around everything, you first talk about company as well.
So you've got this soft touch. So the customers either go for really soft, zero twisty kind of lightweight towel, or they'll go for something a little bit heavier, more crisper, drier handle. So we've got both on offer here, and we go from 650 in GSM up to our sort of standard 700 heavier weight hotel feel towel. In trends, we're getting we're seeing a lot of shaped bath mats. So we've got this classic shaping. You can see for sort of scalloping at the sides, a little bit like restoration hardware. So in terms of market, we would be looking at top end brands like Frette, Restoration for this. Further down, we'd be looking at H&M, Zara, Mango. For sort of trend inspiration, as well as websites like WGSN and Trend Bible. We do a lot of comp shops, looking at colour palettes for that in the market, as well as sort of high street, and then European stores like Carrefour, Yes, Action, all of those kind of people as well. So we've got a wide mix of who we look at and see what they're doing in the market. Okay, so then if we move round. So then this is a nice example as well with in terms of display the silver. So you've got the extended border, woven border sort of techniques, and mixed with the jacquard and this sort of bumpy spar option. Then we move on to Well Home, which is the launch of our own brand, which is going to be a global brand. Possibly looking at this with direct to customer. This is all about creating your own sort of retreat, spa-like experience, sanctuary at home. So it's kind of rooted in solids. So the video kind of explains it really well. It sort of echoes our ethos of the stand in terms of the edit. So only what matters most. So not over messaging and bombarding the customer with too much information. So it's keeping things simple and clean and clear. We know the customer values beautiful product first and foremost, so they visually see colour and pattern and go up to it, and then they'll touch and feel and appreciate the handle. Then they'll go for quality, so that's the substrates and what things are made of. So for Well Home, it's 100% natural cotton in bath, it's 100% natural fibres and natural blends in bed linen. So we have 300 thread counts in bed linen. It's aimed at the better segment of the market. So for this brand, we sort of look at retailers like Parachute, so smaller retailers and brands that we're aiming at for inspiration here. It's got a layer of fashionability, so we've got this kind of beautiful Jacobean style print layered with the simple stripe, and then the ditzy sort of slightly ethnic prints give that sanctuary feel layered over the top. That's knitted, so we've got the textures coming through on the accessories, having that natural feel. The other key thing here is the packaging. So they've gone for lovely soft touch packaging, self fabric bags, so the customer can feel and touch from the packaging. Again, not putting too much in there. We've got the simple little round motif, which is built to last. So, through our customer research, we know customers really value durability as well, and washability is really important. So it's got to have that. So we've just got this simple logo we've gone for on there. And then sort of price comes further down the list in terms of what customers are after, although they do look at value as well, and value can be at any end, from the sort of cheaper end right up to the high end. They're looking for great value product. What was interesting is in this survey that we did, the younger age group, so 25 to 35 year olds, also valued sustainability as an added sort of bonus, and sort of eco-friendly, sustainable ways of making product, but they didn't necessarily want to pay more for it. They kind of have that expectation. They want product that has that, and it's sort of taken, that's an automatic sort of thing on that. In terms of the towels, we've got this lovely, beautiful soft hand feel, casual kind of looks, textures coming through, and Thames, and we do see an increase of all over textures in trends and what people are offering, and end hems and borders definitely increasing over the jacquards or printed towels, I would say. There is also a sort of an appetite, I'd say, for buying things together in 2-packs with bales, and not just at the lower end of the market. We're seeing an increase in a lot of our retailers that might be looking at luxury towels. So for example, M&S would have a Turkish luxury towel they do as a 2-pack, or bales in luxury, or even having a layer of fashion in there, so you could have a solid mixed with a stripe, so mixed with another stripe, so it's really appealing to a customer. And that could be for promotions, or it could be in store all the time. The other thing that's quite interesting with the survey we looked at was we looked at different customer types, so either different age groups, and there was a segment of what we called innovation addicts, so people that would be drawn and attracted to new innovation, so whether it be something like hydro or antimicrobial or silver technology or something like that. They love the concept and the idea of it, but they would buy into that, get it home, and they had the highest rate of returns in any of the different segments we looked at. So it just shows that there's no point doing innovation for innovation's sake. It's got to elevate the product and make it look beautiful. So often with some of these technologies, they don't take colour very well, or they just don't look or feel soft. They lose the handle. So I think it's more important to make sure we get the look and feel of the product right first. And if there's some new innovation as part of that, that's great. But I think they're not valuing so much just having a new technology or gimmick, as it were, more gimmick. For Disney, I know Avinash has taken you through this. We've got Frozen, Stitch, Spider-Man, and Mickey. So Frozen, we've got a new film coming out in December 27, Frozen 3. So that's why we've looked at this, because we'll see an uplift in Frozen coming through. And what we've tried to do here is elevate the product by, rather than just having for kids simple knife edges, we've got the frilled edges, we've got the scallop detailing on some of the Euroshams with different sort of qualities there, and the sequins is new for us, so lowering that sparkle, an element of excitement that people like. We've then got Stitch, which is still the number one for everybody. It always sells out. It's always, all of our customers that have Stitch, it's their number one. It's still the fastest growing franchise, and we had the film last year. It's sort of predominantly for girls, but younger boys would like Stitch as well. We've purposely put more pink layered into this, so it's more girly. The number one product by far is this shaped cushion, the Stitch head. That's by far number one. And we always sort of look at both placement and rotary prints. I would say the placement print with more characters on duvets is what most people go for, and more key in the market. And then we have a mix of like fleece blankets. We've got woven hand towels and bath towels, and we've got the printed beach towels on here. So we then move into Spider-Man, which is the #1 boys franchise for Marvel. So this is the #1 character, very popular. So I would say probably Stitch, then Spider-Man would be key. We've freshened this up by putting it on a lighter pale blue brown colour on the placement, and then we've got the all over print. Again, we've got some attention to detail, the little piped edges on the bedding. Newness in here is we've got the lenticular eyes coming through on cushions. We have the sequins going both ways, so you've got reversible on the sequins, which is a really nice little detail. Again, even on simple shaped cushions, you've got the little lenticular eyes, which is really rather special. Quilting pattern, we're seeing a lot in the market of these cuddle cushions. So in the UK in particular, people have them in big dump bins and baskets, so that cuddly kind of feel we have on here. And then another new product is the iPad cushion. So it's been tested where you just have the iPad on display there. And then we've got the storage. We've got different storage options on here. Lots of different franchises. And the other thing the team have done really well is look at packaging. So we're trying to make the product look more elevated, more exciting, more appealing to the customer. So we've got some lovely ideas here with the quilting packaging at the top. So either with the fold over and the handle, or we've got the sort of bag over here. You've got the bed in the bag, which is a rolled bag, which is really quite special. So you can use the bag afterwards as well as before. There we go, let's just pull that down. As you can see, you've got the nice, it's these little attention to detail, which is really quite special. So you have the bed in the bag. Mickey, #1 franchise for Disney. It has a very wide appeal across lots of age groups. Their #1 franchise. So we've got the placement print, which is gorgeous. It's a really lovely style guide. So this is a newer style guide that we're using here. Quite classic imagery. It's nice to have the teal rather than the sort of navy. In terms of the all over prints, we've got the clouds and the sort of floating balloons, which is really cute. And the quilting, attention to detail. So we're seeing things like where gingham is really in fashion in the market, both in private label and license. Just how can we make the gingham different? So we put a little Mickey head into the gingham, which is really sweet, and then just a simple all over print. This kind of thing would appeal to the slightly older age groups as well, and fan base for Mickey, if they don't want the full-on character everywhere. This is really lovely. So a more simple print, rotary print, again with a simple stripe reverse seeing come through. We've got the texture on the cushion, so the Mickey head, where you've got the boucle knit. So trying to bring in some more excitement with different textures rather than just flat print, which is nice. So we've got the embroidery on the ear there. You can see the little Mickey embroidery, which is rather nice. And shape cushions. So shape cushions do very well, because rather than just a square, sort of somewhere in between a toy and a cushion. Again, in packaging, so beach towels. Just looking at different ways of packaging. So you've got the either beach or woven towels. You've got the self-made bag with the tag, which is really nice. And then like the cushion, where you've got the little pocket. Like you put tooth fairy kind of cushion where you put tooth in for kids, and that's Mickey. So that's our Mickey range. Inside, I think we've gone through high glow, which is more just textures and borders. Beach, we kind of look at. We do a mix of sort of flatbed printing, digital printing, jacquards in there, and we do the classics like the cabana stripes. In terms of trends, the zesty kind of bright colour palette is slightly different colour palette for the European market to the US market, I would say, and even ROW markets, they vary. We also have sand free in beach. In terms of imagery, it's a sort of classic, so we do the shells, we do the fruits, we do the stripes. There's still a continuation of cats like leopards, that kind of thing. We're seeing still coming through on beach towels, so we're using that, and then simple checks. Sardines, and palm trees on beach. So a lot of that. So again, in terms of ideas for that, we'd look across different stores, different markets, and like Trend Bible, WGSN, that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay.